Anti-Afro Svengalis. Look, people, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get through this video because it is so difficult to imagine someone thinking and, well, I don't want to call it thinking. Well, maybe I should call it thinking. Okay, I'll characterize the thinking. Let me see your handcuffs thinking is so remote. I can't relate to it. I have never seen somebody so desperate to be needed. That would risk so much because she so needs to be needed. It doesn't matter who's there to offer her whatever they want to offer for her to feel needed and wanted and useful. But it comes at such a heavy price. That's why I can't relate to her form of thinking. It is so remote. It is, people, and it's very hard to get a grip on someone who absolutely doesn't give a damn about consequences. But guess what? These are going to be your consequences. Let me see your handcuffs, not mine. So I'm talking about the cease and desist letters that people received, not just the ones recently, but I want to talk more about April 21st, 2021, when Let Me See Your Handcuffs received a cease and desist letter from Larry Reid's legal counsel. You see it right here, right? Now, the letter Let Me See Your Handcuffs received was quite different from the assembly line dial-up online lawyer letters that people have received. Now, with Let Me See Your Handcuffs, it was very specific as to what they were insisting and or demanding she stop doing. They named 4 specific videos. I think it was 4 videos. I'm going to put them on the screen. I'll go back and put them up. I remember some of the dates, like the day of the month was cut off, so I don't know the exact date. But this was all in April of 2021. Very specifically, Larry Reid's legal counsel stated unequivocally that Let Me See Your Handcuffs was defaming Larry Reid. And of course, she was doing this under the auspices of Demon Darryl Moore. Darryl Moore, take note of this, people, has been held in contempt of court because he's violated court orders. Those court orders are very specific about pulling down videos, not making any additional videos, clearly not referencing Larry Reid directly or indirectly, and that also applies to associates, people that are associated with him. So what is Let Me See Your Handcuffs doing? After having received this letter, she not only relinks with Demon Moore, she resumes posting derogatory and defaming messages about Larry Reid. But let me make this clear. She really never stopped. She took a brief break, but really thinks that people are not capturing her comments that she's posting in these chats. Like, look at this comment right here. Look at this here. Is this something that you think would draw the attention of someone who sent you a cease and desist letter and told you to stop making defaming comments, and you're associated with someone who's now held in contempt of court for refusing to obey court orders multiple times? Here's something that we all know. Nobody on this planet is going to sue the world because someone is saying something about them, even if it is defamatory. But if you're already talking about somebody who has been sanctioned by the court and you are wrapped up with this person, you're continuing to engage in the conduct that's prohibited, that's a very short reach. You're already included in the mix. Plus, you already got a cease and desist letter. So if a person ever wanted to take action against Let Me See Your Handcuffs, in this case specifically Larry Reid, it's a very short reach. It's a very short reach for any person who tacks on to what Demon Moore is doing, and you're reposting this commentary. But like I said, Let me see your handcuffs thinking is remote, and she does have company. So this is very odd how let me see your handcuffs wants to occupy her time and weigh in on what other people are saying or doing in response to a non-actionable cease and desist letter that was sent by Nikki Proctor Walden to multiple people. I think maybe 20 people. This is a Catherine Brown move. You can't gag chats when people are responding to shit that you created. This is in response to what? NPW's own actions, her own behavior. She's engaging in this bizarre, outrageous conduct and says that everybody has to shut up talking about it, that we're refrained from commenting on it. We can't give an opinion on it, even if NPW targets certain people. Well, this what makes the letter she sent non-actionable. What is the date? What is the time? What is the statement? Specifically, what is NPW trying to convey? NPW is simply trying to terrorize people and scare them by talk of legal action. Well, listen, a cease and desist letter is not legal action. They are actionable and non-actionable. MPWs are non-actionable. We know the cease and desist letter that let me see your handcuffs, God, is 100% actionable. It's a very short reach to draw her in or anyone else who is under the auspices of Darryl if Larry Reid so chooses. That's his decision. But I would be worrying about a person who's already pulled the trigger as a metaphor. He's already has guns blazing, all cylinders firing. He went to court and got a court order. The person who defamed him, and it is defamation. You didn't prove anything. In fact, these fools are running around here putting up all this commentary. I don't pay attention to it because I don't want to see any documentation. If people don't want to see documentation or listen to another side, I ain't wasting my time going to these pages. But I tell you, who is going around to these pages, you best believe the person who thinks he's being defamed. So let me see your handcuffs. Your thinking is remote. I don't give a damn what credentials you have in the education field. You are not in the thinking business when it comes to your own best interest. And you're up here acting like you're surprised that we are talking about some bullshit cease and desist letters that NPW sent to people after she's run around here sexually harassing people and threatening people with violence. She thinks that she has an action against anyone. Listen, there's one thing that people say often. Why sue these people? They don't have any money. That's not the point. What you want is a name clearing outcome. You are pursuing a name clearing outcome, and it is indeed worth it to file a lawsuit in certain situations. Now, whether the judge will order people into mediation is another story. That remains to be seen as well. So it's not necessarily you are suing because you're trying to recoup. You're suing to clear your name. And in some instances, you need to do that. Because no matter what people say, they can go around to different blogs. You have court documents that absolve you in some way. That mediation absolved Larry Reid. He came out on top. Our country operates on the judicial system as the final say. The final say is not here on YouTube. So if people want to run around spreading rumors about people and someone believes they have an actionable claim and they prevail in court, you have that document. So the documentation is Demon Moore keeps violating court orders. The documentation is that Demon Moore is held in contempt of court. It didn't work out the way they were trying to make it work. It just simply didn't. So whatever fool that wants to run up behind Demon Moore and float stories, it's a very short reach to get you all wrapped up, just like you act like you want to be. But you won't be happy about court involvement. Let's see how happy you are when you get served with court papers. There's lots of folks out there thinking they can sell off into the sunset talking shit about people. When they get served, watch the look on their faces, listen for their commentary. You can observe their attitudes. They will be in tatters. They're up there being in tatters thinking you're going to call their job because you sexually harassed them or threaten them. Then how are they going to respond to an actual lawsuit where they know good and damn well they did what they weren't not supposed to do or have been ordered by a court not to do? This remains to be seen. In the meantime, I'm not dealing with any bullshit channels that don't even talk about documentation. There's plenty of it. But again, let me see your handcuffs. Biggest mistake in life is refusing to entertain or get involved with a thinking business. This person simply doesn't think clearly. All about I need to be needed and nothing about how do I avoid getting myself in a situation that's going to be so far over my head. Doesn't even think about it. But that's going to be, let me see your handcuffs problem. You know I have much more to bring your way. So, in the meantime, never forget to heed the warning. Buyer, beware.